The summer swing never happened for us either.
I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30% this year.
Hurricanes and the economy. Okay, if that's what you want to believe. But maybe it has to do something with your president, and probably the guy that you might have voted for. That big summer swing of tourists that you were counting on in Florida, it never happened. I've been saying this since the start of my channel that the US, and especially Florida, was in for a rough summer. And now, Florida tourism businesses are finally feeling it. I'm not going to sit here and gloat, but I saw it coming. Are these Florida businesses really that clueless? Maybe so, especially when the governor is this guy.
We continue to set tourism records. 2024 saw more than 142 million visitors come to the state of Florida. This includes 3.3 million visitors from Canada. That's not much of a boycott in my book. Maybe they wanted to get a glimpse of what a Stanley Cup winning hockey team actually looks like.
I'm going to say it again because some of you seem to enjoy it when I did last time. What an arrogant prick. Florida is in for a rough ride, and the snowbird season hasn't even started yet. Today, I have two reports out of Florida, one on their struggling tourism industry, and the other on skyrocketing grocery prices thanks to the tariffs. This is a deep red state that is really starting to feel the pain. Before we get into that, we have another photo from Rod, this time from Moraine Lake in Alberta. I appreciate you sharing your photos for the community. Just a public service announcement. Please double check the channel name when you're clicking on my videos, and make sure it's actually really my channel. All right, let's get into it.
Next here tonight to our cover story and the summer travel slowdown. For weeks, we've been telling you about how major tourist destinations like New York City and Las Vegas are reporting significant drop-offs in visitors. And tourists and businesses here say they're seeing the same thing.
The summer swing never happened for us either.
I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30% this year.
So tonight, we are following through on businesses along Johns Pass Boardwalk who are hoping for a busy summer travel season after they suffered costly repairs following Hurricane Helene. According to Visit Tampa Bay, tourism numbers have been on par with recent years. However, ABC Action News reporter Blake Phillips is listening to those business owners who say that has not been the case for them.
Did you catch that? Tourism Tampa Bay claims that things are on par with recent years. But the business owners you're about to hear from, they're saying something very different about what's really happening to their bottom line. This is why I don't listen to anything that any tourism executive or government official says about their state of tourism. I'd rather hear it from the people on the ground. The business owners, the housekeeping staff, the restaurant servers, the ones who see the reality every single day. So keep that in mind the next time you hear someone in an official capacity trying to spin their numbers.
So it is a ghost town.
For many along Johns Pass, business has been falling short.
It's the slowest year we've had since 2020.
Following Hurricane Helene, the damage kept businesses closed in some cases for over 2 months, and then for some, even longer.
And that's why I say we were blessed, because we were closed 10 weeks, which is a lot, right? And it hurt us a lot. But in comparison to some people, it's not. You know, because some people, like I said, are still not working and they're still out of jobs.
ABC Action News spoke with several different businesses along Johns Pass back along the 4th of July holiday week. And even then, they were hoping for a big summer boost to help cover the lost revenue and repair costs.
But this year, since the hurricane, it's been really bad, so it's really hard to tell.
Now, 1 month later, they tell me that just didn't happen.
Spring break really never happened for us. And then the summer swing never happened for us either. The kids locally just went back to school, I guess, this past week, and now it is just dead.
I'd really like to know how many of your customers this time last year were international tourists from Canada, Europe, and everywhere else around the world, from nations who won't set foot in your country anymore. You can't deny that we, the international community, help keep your business going. But I'm going to take a wild guess here. If Trump never happened, if he did not win the election, this report probably wouldn't exist either.
And low business is something almost everyone is feeling all along the boardwalk.
I don't know if it's the hurricane, the economy, a mix of the two, but we've definitely been, everybody around here that I spoke to has been down about 30% this year.
Visit Tampa Bay says hotel revenue so far this year is on par with some of the previous year's best. So, possibly a sign of things to come. And there was still some foot traffic like this family down here all the way from New England.
Plan on coming back?
I hope so. It's a beautiful area. Yeah.
It's great. The water's great. Yeah.
What about asking that same question to someone who isn't from the United States? Oh, right. Probably hard to find because there aren't any.
Now, with most students in Florida gone back to school, much of the country going to follow suit. That last major travel chance for some of these businesses is Labor Day weekend. After that, it's dead season for them. So over the course of the next few months, they're going to be leaning really heavily on local foot traffic. For now, along Johns Pass, I'm Blake Phillips, ABC Action News.
I hate to say it, but your Labor Day long weekend isn't going to save you. And neither will local foot traffic once you head down the even deader season. On top of that, your Canadian snowbird season is going to be cancelled. The screenshots you're seeing now are just a small sample from our community, showing the actions they have taken against your state, your arrogant governor, and the baby in the White House. Not once in this report did they mention international or political tensions, let alone Canada. Business owners blame the hurricane and the economy. And sure, it might be about 30 to 50% true, but even the business owners left out the political rhetoric coming from their president. I could only guess that they either voted for him or they're too afraid to say anything against their president. But then again, it's Florida, and I'm not surprised. If you used to be a Canadian snowbird heading to Florida, let the community know in the comments. And let the community know where you will be going instead of Florida. Now, this next report is still out of Florida, but it focuses on the rising grocery costs, something many Florida residents are feeling, and something a lot of them actually voted for. Let's take a look.
I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting in Seminole County. There are signs that the most recent tariffs put into place on imported goods could lead to a rise in costs at the grocery store on some of your favorite items like canned goods, fruits, and coffee.
Okay, and I can tell you the prices have gone up.
Gail Kent tells me she's noticed a steep increase at checkout.
I just got Parmesan cheese. It was $12.99 and now it's $16.99.
And she's not the only one seeing the rise, as the high cost of groceries is straining many people's wallets. A recent poll shows 53% of Americans say grocery costs were a, quote, major stress.
Well, I think it's really sad for people who really can't afford it.
And it could continue to impact consumers, as economists warn the latest round of tariffs might drive up prices even further.
But didn't Mr. Taco Man say the other countries would pay the tariffs? I'm still baffled how many Republicans still believe that's true. There's no way these companies are also going to be eating the cost. Of course they're going to pass it down. So the people who end up suffering are the consumers, on both sides of the board and around the world. Doesn't really sound like winning to me.
Some imports coming from Brazil will now face a 50% tariff, which means we'll likely see some coffee, sugarcane, and meat go up in price.
Obviously, it's noticeable on the price difference, but it's kind of hard to say where everything's increasing. But, I mean, as far as even the champagne, it's up $1 or $2, so it just doesn't stop.
For Zach Stewart, an increase at the register has him reconsidering what he eats day to day.
For me, cooking-wise, may not always be the best option anymore if the prices keep going up. I may have to consider eating out more often, just because I live by myself.
Aluminum goods from Canada are subject to a 35% tariff, which could mean higher costs for certain drinks and canned goods.
They don't understand that tariffs are paid by the consumer, okay? The companies pay it, but then they pass on the costs.
The Census Bureau reports that American businesses are also importing less amid the higher tariffs. That's another thing making it more expensive to buy those foreign-produced goods. Reporting in Seminole County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
It's clear that Florida is feeling the pain, not just the tourism industry, but on the consumers being priced out of the groceries they normally buy. And the whole mess, it really comes down to one person, and the 77 million who voted him into the office. Now, the rest of the world, including the same 77 million, will have to deal with the fallout of these uneducated decisions to impose tariffs. And things are only going to be getting more expensive from here. I'm going to let Nicholas on TikTok explain it far better than I ever could.
So it's bad news for the US economy. So wholesale prices have had their biggest rise in 3 years. PPI shows the signs of tariff-related inflation in the United States. Wholesale inflation is now at 3.3%. Basically, what this means is that companies are no longer eating or consuming the cost of the tariff, and they're passing that on to the consumer. So what does this mean? So it means that things are getting more expensive, and we're not just talking about food and energy. We're talking about across the board, things are getting more expensive in the United States, and the number one source for the reason for this is Donald Trump's tariffs. Now, there's two things I need to talk about this. First of all, this will likely mean that there will be no federal rate cut next month. I can't see why they would do that. Of course, this is going to continue to anger Donald Trump. And the other thing is that this kind of data is going to anger Trump. So what's he going to do? Well, I think we can probably see him saying that the numbers are fake, the numbers are rigged. Maybe he'll fire the person who issued the data. I don't know. But this is not good news for the U.S. economy. I was reading a report this morning that I think it was Fox News, actually. Fox News did a little survey, and they said that 53% of Americans now are stressed about going grocery shopping because of the price rises. Folks, but the source for this one today is Market Watch. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I would love you folks to give me a follow.
If you're on TikTok, I highly recommend that you give Nick a follow. He shares great updates from what's happening in the US and even covers some of Canadian stories too. I actually think Nick might be Canadian. I'm not 100% sure on that. Now back to what he is saying. Things in the US are about to get more expensive. That Parmesan cheese that the woman bought for $16 earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if it hits $20 soon. He also mentioned that Fox News reported 53% of Americans are worried about grocery shopping. I'm going to guess that that number is a little bit higher. Now, since we're focused on Florida for this video, I got another clip from Greg the Uber driver. This time he talks about a second alligator Alcatraz, as if we needed another reason to avoid going to the US.
Breaking news, Florida Governor DeSantis announces deportation depot. What? Yes, deportation depot, a second alligator Alcatraz immigration detainee facility near Lake City, more in central Florida, that would hold 1,300 detainees. What? Yes. This was announced just moments ago as Governor DeSantis broke the announcement about deportation depot. It's estimated to hold 1,300 detainees there in central Florida. Also, there is a great likelihood that Judge Kathleen Williams may issue a ruling that would actually close Alligator Alcatraz, and she indicated yesterday that she would do that within a week, so we basically have 6 days or so to find out. So what are they going to do with the detainees at Alligator Alcatraz if it gets closed? Well, maybe they're going to Deportation Depot. Love the name, right? Governor DeSantis wants to be president so bad. Baby, it's never going to happen. Governor DeSantis tries his best to stay in the news. Not necessarily good news, but stays in the news. What do you think? Deportation Depot? Right. More millions of dollars of state funds that will be able to be let by no bid contracts that only the governor and his team can decide who get. You can imagine who's getting the money, right? This is the latest I can tell you right now about this. Deportation Depot is going to be scheduling to open near Lake Mary in Central Florida, and great likelihood that Alligator Alcatraz within the next 6 days could be ordered to be closed based on Kathleen Williams' ruling that we will see that will be forthcoming. There you have it. Let me know what you think. Love you for my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs.
If you're on TikTok, give Greg a follow as well. Now, Alligator Alcatraz is controversial on its own, but the fact that there's a second one being set up, it's a pretty clear sign that detainment by CBP and ICE isn't going to be slowing down anytime soon. We already know how inhumane the conditions are and the unfair treatments of innocent people. Expanding these facilities only means it's going to get worse. And the United States, the so-called land of the free and the home of the brave, is going to have to tear itself down before it gets any better. So here's my takeaway from this video. Florida business owners are suffering, but they're still clueless about why customers aren't coming. Rising costs are pushing people out of the typical groceries they buy, including plenty who voted for Trump. In fact, it's probably hurting the Trump supporters the most. And the tariffs? They're doing no good globally and will most likely hit the US the hardest. So much for winning. If you found this video helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to help get this message out to more people. And share it with your friends as well. And if you're still here and you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are showing up on your screen now, or go to my channel page. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.